Today we're going to talk credit score. And in particular, what credit score is required by the VA in order to get qualified for a home loan. So let's get after it. All right, now it's a great question. What credit score do I have to qualify to buy a home using the VA loan? And I'm going to give you the real quick answer. Number one is the VA doesn't have a credit score requirement. They don't say that you have to have a specific score in order to qualify for a VA home loan. So, which is great because the VA is going to secure 25% of that loan. Now, keep in mind the VA is only securing 25%. You're securing the other 75. So, having a credit score usually falls, or the credit guidelines usually fall to the lender that you use. With National VA Loans and Leader One Financial, our credit score minimum is 550. So to answer the question that's above us right here, just simply, do you have to have a credit score to 620 or higher to get a loan? No, you do not. But there are things that have to be involved. And I would love to be able to explain. In fact, I did do a nice chalkboard drawing of what it takes to qualify for a VA, and what it takes and how to explain the credit. So let me show you this. Hopefully you can understand. It's really simple. It's straightforward. It's easy. There's not much to it. But if you can zoom in, that's where you'll see how credit is figured and how it's calculated. Um, and honestly, it's not much different than that. I know that's kind of a joke, but credit is kind of difficult. It's difficult to understand. It's difficult to work. But a couple tips real quick, and then we're going to get back into what it takes to qualify. But a couple tips real quick is, number one, you want to make sure that your balances are low on any revolving debt. That's the biggest thing. Now, a lot of people say, well, just pay it down. Well, hell, if I could pay it down, I'd have done that already, for God's sake. So there are ways to maneuver through that. If you have a credit card that you've paid well on and you've had no problems with, and you've consistently paid it on time, then what you need, and you've had it for 6 months or longer, what I would suggest doing is reaching out to your card company and see if they will increase your credit line. So if you have a $2,000 credit limit and you've had the card, like I said, for 6 months, you've made great on-time payments, then you might take a look at asking them to take you from 2,000 to 4,000 or 5,000, because that right there just gives you more credit all the way around, which increases your credit score. It makes it pretty simple, and it's not the old adage of, well, just pay some stuff off. I mean, look, I love that, and that's nice, and I wish we all had the ability just to pay a whole bunch of stuff off. But let's be honest, if we did, we probably wouldn't have ran up the credit card debt in the first place. So to kind of backdoor that, pay it on time, and then ask them to increase your credit score. A lot of times that can be the best way to do it. Another thing that on credit, a good tip is to make sure that you're making on-time payments. Even if you are only making that bare minimum payment, make them on time. Okay, because credit there's a big hit on credit for any kind of late payments. So make sure you're making those payments on time to your lender right away, so that way you don't have to worry about any kind of deduction on your credit score. So there's just a couple tips. But credit scores of 620 or below, yes, we can go down to a 550 score. Now there are a few things that we look for, and that the system and the underwriters will look for in order to strengthen that file. If you're a little bit weak on the credit side, you have a little bit lower score, then we're going to look for other things like job time. How long have you been at your current employer? We're going to look at how long you've been at your current home. Those all play a role in those, and to help strengthen that loan file. Another big one is assets. So reserves, you'll hear them called sometimes. And the reason we look at that is because if things were to go bad, if you were to lose a job, or if there was or hell, let's just say we're dealing with inflation like we are right now, and the cost of groceries goes from 500 a month to 1,500 a month. They want to make sure that you can still make that payment and you have reserves set aside. So whether it be 401k from a current job, and like I said, that goes into that play where how long have you been on your job? So if you're contributing to a 401k, that all counts as assets for you. Now there's a calculation in there, but of course we'll help you figure that out. But those are the things that we look for when we're going down below that 620 score, when the credit is not the strength of our file. And I'm not saying that it's a weakness of the file, but it's not the contributor to the strength of the file. So we're going to look at some other things. Obviously the best way to find out any of this really is going to be contacting one of our VA specialists here at National VA and Leader One Financial. You can do that at 855-956-4040. Again, it's 855-956-4040. Any of our VA specialists there will be more than happy to answer any questions. Of course, if you are proactive like I am, or like I try to be, go ahead and and fill out the application at nationalapplynow.com. It's a great place to do it. All the information you're going to need is going to be right there. You can go in and put everything in, and then one of our VA specialists will reach right out to you and get everything working for you. But again, guys, you do not have to have a 620 or a 640 or a 660 to qualify, especially through us here at National VA Loans and Leader One Financial. We want to work with everybody. And if you are below that number, if you're in that 490s, 500, 510, somewhere in there, below that 550 score, give us a call because we want to work at a plan with you. We want to figure out a plan to get you ready to buy your first home, and then your second, your third, and your fourth, and maybe become, I don't know, a property manager to where you're owning property and you're actually doing some income producing things and have another source of income. That's always a great thing and something that we love to help people out with here at National VA and Leader One Financial. Guys, of course, you give us a call, like I said, 855-956-4040. Check us out online at nationalapplynow.com for the application. And you can always, always, always run in and go to our youtube.com and youtube.com/National VA Loans. It'll keep you up to date with all the current VA information regarding home loans and any kind of credit requirements and things like that. Until next time, we appreciate your business. We appreciate your service. We appreciate what you've done for our country. Thank you so much, and God bless.